Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 821st Rome Total War Brotherhood game I've put onto YouTube. During the course of this battle, we're going to have a look at a thing called Suicide Chariots, which I hope you'll enjoy. Okay, this is fought on the Germanic forest map, one of my favourite maps here with the big open plains if you want to fight out in the open, or you can hide your troops in the woods and spring those nasty ambushes on enemy troops. And of course, if you bring barbarian factions, then you can get the woods bonus and the winter bonus as well. So as I say, there's always a lot going for this map, and that's why I like it so much. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Lando. Now Lando's got the bog standard old school 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. And the reason that's the bog standard 31k Roman army is because it's so effective and so efficient. That's why so many people bring it. So 14 infantry and 6 cavalry for Brotherhood member Lando. Our next teammate is RTW player Luke. Now Luke, get ready for this, has just got 6 cavalry, okay, 7 archers and 7 infantry. Yeah, you're right, 7 infantry and 7 archers, 6 cavalry. If you look at the upgrades on his cavalry, if you count them up there, 1, 2, 3, 4, fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry. Now that lifts him out of the elite bracket into the super cavalry bracket. Okay, but the big question is, will 6 fully upgraded cavalry make up for just 7 infantry? It'll be interesting to see as the battle unfolds. And of course, as I say, he's got 7 archers as well. So very interesting that. Our next teammate is brother member JGP. Now JGP has got 11 infantry, 3 archers and 6 cavalry. Okay, 11 infantry, 3 archers and 6 cavalry. From what I can see there, most of his infantry are just gold shield, gold attack. So that means he's put money on his cavalry. Yep, there you go. He's got 8 upgrades on his Praetorian cavalry, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So he has also got some very serious cavalry there. So I think that's a pretty good balanced Roman army there. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought 13 Spartans and just 2 archers. Okay, the reason I bought just 2 archers is because I spent a little bit more money on my Spartans. This is an old army. You'll see some of my Spartans have just got gold shield, gold attack on, which they do very good with gold shield, gold attack. But some of my Spartans I've put a veteran stripe on, an experience stripe on as well. And we know that veteran stripes keeps units fighting longer and holding longer there. So there you are, that's my old school, old fashioned Spartan army. How well will it do? Well, we just have to guess, we'll have to see. And here is the other team. We have brother member Uther. Now he's also got the bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, but he's added something to the infantry that he's got. As I say, he's still got 14 infantry, but if we look closer, you'll see that he has added a couple of eagle units. Okay, so there's 1 eagle unit there for an extra morale boost. Of course, he's got his infantry general for the general morale boost there, and of course he's got another eagle unit there. So yes, he's got 14 infantry, but he's got 2 eagle units for the morale boosting units there, and of course he's got his general morale boost there as well. So there's a lot of morale going on in that infantry of Uther's. Be interesting to see how well he does during the course of the battle. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Mantu. Now get ready for this. Mantu has just got 6 infantry. Yes, just 6 infantry. He's got 8 archers and 6 cavalry. Okay, 6 infantry, 8 archers and 6 cavalry. I'm guessing that he spent a lot of money on his cavalry. There you go. 1, 2. He's got, if you count the upgrades, 9 upgrades, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. That is fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry. As we said, that takes him out of the elite bracket into the super bracket there. But will 6 fully upgraded cavalry make up for just 6 infantry? Well, I guess during the course of battle we will see. And 8 archers. That's a heck of a lot of archers to bring, isn't it? So, an unusual army there. Be interesting to see how well he does with that. Now, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman with his faction of choice, Pontus. Now, he's got 14 pikes and 4 chariots. If you notice that the forward units of his battle formation have just got gold shield, gold attack, these are the guys that's going to take the pilots and make first contact with the enemy. Okay, that's why he's got small upgrades on them, because they're just going to kind of weaken the enemy there. Just look at the length of those pikes that our troops are going to have to fight down to kill the man on the other end. If you move further back into his battle formation, you'll see that the vast majority of his pikes have got 8 upgrades on, 2 veteran stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so he's got 2 experience stripes there, so that's a pretty good battle formation there, I think. Now we're going to move on to his chariots. Now what we call these now are his suicide chariots. Okay, we know they've got big attack specifications, and we know that they've got big fear factor as well. If you notice, he's only got about 3 upgrades on them, which I think is attack. And what he does with these is he suicides them into enemy troops, hoping that they're going to run amok. Now, strangely enough, when chariots run amok, they seem to be stronger than they do in normal mode. So what he does, he doesn't spend a lot of money on these chariots, because he doesn't want to do that, because he wants them to charge into enemy troops and run amok and just plow through the enemy units there. So as I say, these chariots are suicide chariots as far as Barclayman's concerned, and he's been refining this tactic for a few weeks now of using his chariots as suicide chariots, and it has proved to be quite effective against enemy troops. So it'll be interesting to see how well his suicide chariots do during the course of the battle. As I say, when they run amok, they seem to be stronger in amok mode than they do in normal mode, and if they start ploughing through enemy troops in amok mode, then they can cause a heck of a lot of casualties there. Now their last teammate, if we can find him in the woods here. Oh yeah, there you are, I can see generally there. Their last teammate is an RTW player called Xarith. Okay, he's played with us before, he's a pretty good player. Now he's got 12 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, 12 infantry and 6 cavalry there. You can see the bulk of his army are hiding in the woods. Okay, so I just wanted to go back to Mantu's army there, because as I say, he's bought 8 archers, which seems a lot, because if you look at our factions, we've got no factions that are susceptible to archer damage. You see, we haven't got any of the big 121 man units. We've got all Rome and Greek cities. So you might be thinking, does that seem strange that he's bought 8 archers there? Okay, well, I think the reason he's bought 8 archers is because he knows Luke will bring a lot of archers. Remember, Luke's got 7 archers there. Okay, and what he's thinking of is his teammate Barclayman with Pontus, which is extremely susceptible to archer damage. He knew Luke would bring a lot of archers, so I think Mantu's bought 8 archers there to cover his teammate. Okay, so that was a nice teammate move there by Mantu. Bought all those archers to try and counter Luke's archers to stop them shooting into his Pontus ally. Nice teamwork move. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, as we thought here, Mantu has bought his archers to cover his Pontus ally there, and you can see that him putting his archers now in front of the Pontus pikemen there. As I say, those 121 pike units of Pontus would be extremely susceptible to archer damage, and that's why I think Luke has bought 7 archers there, so he can target Pontus, and they were Mantu is going to counter Luke's archers with his own archers there. You'll see here, if we look over on the far right flank, you'll see that, can you see Luke's cavalry there just disappeared in the woods there? So he's brought his cavalry over to this far right flank of ours, probably with a view to maybe obviously flank the enemy troops there. So his cavalry are now hiding in the woods. Okay. As we move back over here, you'll see that the team here, the rest of us, JGP, Lando and myself, are all forming up together here. Okay, so that's where we're all forming up. You see me moving my Spartans forward there, and as I say, Lando's just come over from the centre right there, and you can see Xarith coming out of the woods as well. They may well form up in a big group as well, I'm thinking there. But as I say, Luke has moved off to the far right flank with his cavalry, and I believe his infantry has moved over there as well. Right there you are, I can see him moving his cavalry over to the right flank. Now, is there any danger that you can see? You know, veterans watching this, I know you can see the danger, but newer players might not. Okay, can you see how far away Luke's army is away from his allies there? Okay, he's a long way away from his allies. Now, what I was thinking here is, if the enemy team were quick and fast, do you think that they could possibly double team Luke's army there and take him out? I just wondered what you thought there. He's got his cavalry, as I say, going over on the far right flank. So you can see he's moving away from his allies there. But remember, Mantu's got fully upgraded cavalry as well. Okay, so Mantu's cavalry against Luke's cavalry. That's going to neutralise, both of them are going to be neutralised there. But remember, Luke's only got 7 infantry. So if Uther and Mantu move towards Luke there, could they actually, could he be isolated and could he be double teamed? Well, it'll be interesting to see what the enemy team's going to do there. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I wanted to show you a very old school, old-fashioned Greek cities battle formation here. Now, this battle formation I've been using for many, many years now. Maybe 14, 15 years I've been using this battle formation. You know, modern players with Greek city, they spread the Spartans out in little groups of 3 or 4. They spread them out across the battlefield. But this is genuinely an old school, old-fashioned battle formation, tried and tested and kind of battle hardened, really. If you notice at the end of the battle formation, if you look closely, can you see that those units on the end of the battle formation are in thick formation there? Can you see that? If you look at the other units in between the end units, you'll see they're in thinner formation, but these two are deliberately put into thick formation there. Okay, and the reason for that is because a lot of enemy troops will try and flank Greek cities, and if they come round the flank, they're going to come up against 2 really good, thick Spartan units there on either flank. Can you see that? As I say, this is a tried and tested, battle-hardened Greek city battle formation, so it'll be interesting to see how well it does in 2023. Should be interesting. Okay, and it's still at this very early stage of the battle there. You'll see Luke is kind of moving even further away from his allies there. Do you notice he's moving further and further right there? But you'll notice that I think JGP and Lando have brought their cavalry over to the right centre there. Okay, as I say, you can see a lot of enemy cavalry there. Mantu's, JGP, and I think Xarith's cavalry are there as well. And over here you'll see Lando moving forward. Now, we know Lando is one of the most aggressive attacking players in the game, and he looks like that's exactly what he's going to do here, the way he's moving towards Mantu's infantry. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Mantu moved his infantry away. Okay, and the reason I say that is because he's only got 6 infantry. Okay, Lando's got, I think, something like 12, something like that. So, as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if Mantu moved left, because he knows that Luke has only got 7 infantry. There you are, let's see. Can you see Mantu's now moving left there towards Luke's infantry? Okay, now remember, Luke has only got 7 infantry and Mantu's only got 6 infantry there. So they're reasonably matched if Mantu goes left, and there you are, you've got Uther facing Lando. I say Lando's got 14 infantry, Uther's got 14 infantry, so it's quite even there. But as I say, just look how far away Luke is from his allies there. Got quite a long way away, isn't he? I was just thinking, as I said earlier, if the enemy team moved quickly, could they isolate him and then double team him there? Because as I say, Mantu's cavalry is fully upgraded, just the same as Luke's, so they're pretty even over on that side. But as I say here, you got Uther facing Lando there, 14 infantry each, so that's pretty good. But as I say, Uther's got a couple of Eagle units in his army there, boosting the morale of his troops. And over here, as I say, you got Barclayman's Pontus faction, his faction of choice. And make no mistake, he's bought this faction here to counter my Spartans. Okay, he knows that the long pikes of Pontus here, okay, will have a big advantage. Just make a mental note on how long those pikes of Pontus are, and then come up here and have a look at the short spears of the Spartans. There you are. Look how short the spears are. So you imagine how many Spartans I would lose fighting down the long pikes of those Pontus pikemen before my spearmen could even get into range of their men there. But as I say, here Lando and Uther facing each other. Wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be a little bit of pilot exchanging going on here when they get a little bit closer. As I say, Uther can be very aggressive as well here, so it'll be interesting to see which one's going to kind of kick the battle off here between the two of them. There, as I say, you can see Uther now. You can see his army moving there closer towards Lando's there. So definitely there will be pilot exchanging going on here. There you are. You can see the pilots going in. Remember, those pilots are effective against armor and can do a lot of damage. And that's why we have pilot shield units in open order in front of our main battle formation there. Because as we've talked about so many times before, units in open order suffer less casualties from missiles. Now here you'll see that Lando is putting his forward pilot shield units into Testudo. Okay, you can see that there. You can see he's still getting hit by pilots there. But if you, those of you that haven't seen a unit going into Testudo, if you watch this, there you are. And this was a real formation used by the Romans back in the day. It's called the Testudo, and if you look closely at it here, you can see where they use it. Can you see how it's got like a protection at the front from missiles? That enemy throwing missiles at the front, protected there. Any missiles coming in from the side, from the flank, look, protected, and anything coming in over the top, like arrows or anything like that, protected as well. So as I say, it was a very effective battle formation there to stop missiles damaging the troops. So as I say, you can see Lando there put those two forward units into Testudo, and you can see Uther there moving even more forward now towards Lando. So as I say, two aggressive players facing each other there. The battle could well take off. Right, now we know earlier we were talking about suicide chariots. Okay, so this is what I was talking about here. Barclayman now is going to suicide this chariot. Okay, charging forward there. It was over there, remember, it was right at the back there. He's decided to run it forward now, and he's going to suicide this chariot into JGP's infantry, hoping that this chariot is going to run amok. As we talked about before, when a chariot runs amok, it appears to be stronger than it is in normal mode there. So that's what he's hoping he's going to do here. He's going to charge that chariot in there, suicide that chariot into JGP's army, hoping it's going to run amok. Right, there you go. Look, he's going to charge it in there like a bang as he charges it in there to JGP's infantry there. But as I say, Barclayman there is hoping that that chariot's going to run amok. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just rout as any normal unit would. So it'll be interesting. There you are. Let's see. Can you see that that chariot has not run amok? Can you see that it's just the banner's just flashing white? Remember, when a chariot unit runs amok, the banner flashes red, but that one's just flashing white there, so it's just routing like any other unit. So that would be a bit of a disappointment to Barclayman there. As I say, he was hoping that that unit would run amok, killing loads and loads of JGP's infantry. You can see that there's already casualties caused by that chariot in normal mode there, but as I say, if it runs amok, it does seem to be stronger and would have done even more damage there. So that would be a little bit of a disappointment to Barclayman there, that unit did not run amok. There you are. Let's see, the banner's still flashing white, so it's just routing as normal. But sometimes all of a sudden they change and they turn into amok mode. It's really strange with chariots there, so we just have to keep an eye on that. But over here you can see Lando and Uther here. It's really getting tough battle going on here. You can see a lot of pilot exchanging going on here between the two armies there. And you can see JGP's moving his Brutio army forward there to support Lando. Nice bit of teamwork there. And you can see Xarith brought his SPQR army over as well. Now notice there's another chariot unit here that I'm pretty sure that Barclayman's going to suicide into JGP's units there. Once again, hoping this time that it's going to run amok. Okay, that's what I think he's hoping for there. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you'll see, let's say, Mantu is countering Luke's there, because they got roughly the same infantry and they both got fully upgraded cavalry, so they're kind of neutralizing each other there. As I say, Mantu's got his 8 archers. I think Luke had 7 archers, so pretty even those two armies are there. Okay, but as I say here, just watch out for that suicide chariot there of Barclayman's. Once again there, look, suicide chariot going to charge in again. And this time he's hoping and praying that it's going to run amok. There you are. Look, watch the banner on the chariot. See if it goes red. Remember, if that banner on that chariot goes red, then he's got what he wants, and that chariot has run amok. Okay, you can see it charging into Lando's army there. Make no mistake, it'll be killing a lot of Lando's. There you are. Look, can you see he's got exactly what he wanted there now? That suicide chariot has now run amok, and will be killing loads of Lando's infantry there. You can see that when it hit Lando's infantry, it was causing casualties, but now it's run amok and will become even stronger there. It'll kill even more of Lando's infantry. So as I say, I've seen this tactic used many years ago, but I haven't seen it for many years. If you notice here, the good counter against the suicide chariot is to put your troops into testudo. Put your Roman infantry into testudo. That's a really good defense against suicide chariots. I've seen that done in the past. Here you can see that Uther's charging his cavalry as well. Poor old Lando's going to get smashed and crashed there if he's not careful. You'll see that Lando's got his cavalry all the way over there where Luke's infantry was, and I think Lando needs to bring his cavalry back over to his infantry. You'll see that Luke has got his infantry in testudo there. But you'll see that I think, as I say, Lando needs to bring his Julii cavalry over there to assist his infantry there. And there's another suicide chariot unit coming in. Look, Barclayman's throwing another suicide chariot in there to hit poor old JGP yet again. But as I say, JGP's got his infantry into testudo there, so that will it does really kind of neutralise those suicide chariot attacks there. You still do some damage. That you can still see there's some damage being done to those infantry units there, but testudo is a really good counter to suicide chariots there. And there, oh, that's a bit unfortunate for Barclayman there. One of his suicide chariots has run amok, just ran into Uther's infantry. So this is a risk that you get, you see, because obviously when the chariot runs amok, the general loses all control over it, and it can run into your allies' troops as well. And then, strangely enough, you can become a little bit unpopular when your chariots are killing your own allies' troops. Right, this is the casualties that you see JGP suffered from that normal chariot hit. You know, we saw that chariot going, it didn't run amok, but look how many it killed of his troops. There's an amok chariot there. I should be trying to avoid that like the plague. There, I don't want that running into my troops, thank you very much. So I need to watch that. But if you notice here, can you see I'm moving my troops forward, because I can see that Lando's troops there, in my opinion, could well get smashed and crashed there. And that could be a bit of a problem for our battle line there. He's bringing his cavalry over, but I think I need to move my Spartans over there to try and help hold the line there. But as I say, I want to avoid these amok chariots like the plague there. So you can see me moving over there. It's stopped, slowed down. Now you might see a tactic that I've used with my Spartans there. I'll show it to you in a minute in regard of suicide chariots. Okay, but meanwhile here you can see, I think his Xarith's cavalry smashed into Lando there as well. But as I say, you can see this run amok chariot here close to my infantry, so I'm aware of that. So what you'll notice, what I've done with my Spartans, I put their spears down. Now spears, as we know, kill chariots really quickly. So if he does hit me, I'd like him obviously to hit me at the front there with spears down. But if he does come into the side of me with my spears down, my troops will face that threat there and probably kill those chariots quite quickly. So that's why I've put my spears down. But as I say, look at Lando's position here. He's being smashed and crashed by two lots of cavalry, plus Uther's moving his Scipio infantry forward as well. So I think Lando needs a bit of assistance there. That's why I'm running my that's why I'm thinking of running my Spartans over there to help hold the line. Going to step into the breach there. You can see there a couple of Lando's units are just routed. Oh my gosh, there's that another one of those run amok suicide chariots there. Go on into the enemy troops. Start chopping them down. No, he's turned back now. And then you might start heading into our troops again there, going into poor old JGP. And then he's turned again. Do you see how unpredictable these run amok chariots are? Can you see he's starting to come towards my Spartans? But there, oh my god, and the last thing you want is an amok chariot to go into your cavalry. That is one of the worst things that you can get. Amok chariots will just chop your cavalry down like there's no tomorrow. Just pause the game for a second. Look at all these Julii cavalry of poor old Lando's there. They just got hit by a glancing blow from that run amok chariot. Took out all those cavalry. So as I say, these there, just look at them. Look at all those Julii cavalry. And that was a glancing blow from that run amok chariot there. So you can see how powerful they are. And now he's charging into poor old JGP. But as I say here, I think Lando's doing quite well to hold as well as he did. But I'm going to run my Spartans over there to try and step into the breach there, because I think Lando needs some help. Okay, but watch the Pontus pikemen. Okay, now I've committed my Spartans there. The Pontus general Barclayman can see that, and look what he's going to do. Look, all right, there's that run amok chariot. Look, going into Uther's troops now. So as I say, Barclayman will become a little bit unpopular there with his chariots killing his own allies' troops. Right, pause the game for a second. So as I say, I'm moving my Spartans in there to try and step into the breach there, because I think Lando's army may be about to crack there, so I'm going to step in there. But if you notice, the Pontus general Barclayman has seen that I've committed my Spartans now, and what he really wants to do is get the long pikes of Pontus to counter my Spartans. As I say, I know we've looked at this a couple of times, just look at those long pikes of Pontus there, and that's why he wants to shadow my Spartan army there to try and counter the effect of my Spartans. Now, poor old JGP's cavalry looks like it's just about to be hit by a suicide chariot. And as I say, look at the cavalry here that he lost from a suicide chariot earlier. Just look at all that cavalry. And I think he just got hit with a glancing blow. But this chariot unit here looks like it's going to smash full blow into the side of his cavalry. Get ready for this. And there it goes. It's suicide chariot hit on poor old JGP's cavalry, and bang, and it smashed in there. And as I say, Barclayman here will be praying that unit runs amok, and it has. That unit has now run amok. See the red flashing banner, and make no mistake, that will be chopping down poor old JGP's cavalry there. Oh my gosh. But it looks like JGP's attacked that chariot unit and killed it quite quickly there. But just look at the cavalry that he's lost just from that hit there. Can you see all that cavalry there? You can see the carcasses of the chariot there that he attacked and killed. But just look at all that dead cavalry that suicide chariot has just caused him there. So that'd be pretty good for Barclayman. He'll be pleased with that. Now I just want to show you an old school tactic here that I think the enemy are going to use. Can you see I'm pushing my Spartans into the Roman units of Uther? Now what I think Uther's going to do, I think he's going to withdraw his infantry away from my Spartans, and those Pontus pikemen are going to rush in and take their place. Okay, it's just what I'm thinking here. Can you see my Spartans are starting to make inroads into Uther's Roman army? Now watch the Scipii infantry of Uther's pull back. There you are. Can you see he's pulling his infantry back, allowing his Pontus ally to come forward with those long pikes of Pontus there. Okay, so as I say, I've managed to rout, I think, a couple of Uther's Scipii units there, but they were the short spears of Spartans now up against the massive long pikes of Pontus. So I'm not going to do that. I think the best thing for me to do now is to pull my infantry back and maybe look at attacking Pontus from a different angle there. You certainly don't want to take Pontus. There you are, look. Barclayman just put those pikes down. Now what he wants me to do, he'd love me to attack him head on. Well, I'm not going to do that. Do you notice how I'm pulling my Spartans back? No way am I going to take those pikes on head on there, especially with the upgrades he's got on them as well. And you don't want to put short spears up against long pikes there. So you can see I'm pulling my army back, but I'm going to look to try and crash into the flank of those advanced Pontus pikemen if I can. Okay, just to give you a heads up on that. But a strange thing happened here. One of my units got stuck, wouldn't move. Can you see this one unit there? No matter how many times I clicked on it to move back with the main army, it just got kind of stuck and it wouldn't move back. So that unit, I'm afraid I'm going to lose. Look at all those Pontus pikemen closing in on it there. So that's one unit that I know I'm going to definitely use there, even though I've tried to pull it back on several occasions, but it won't move back there. So that poor unit, I'm afraid, is going to get taken out there. But as I say, I'm looking to come in at an angle on these Pontus pikes. So you can see that Lando's Julii infantry are now kind of holding and pinning those Pontus pikemen, and I'd like to get round the flank there. But you'll see a line of Pontus pikemen at the rear there, which I'm pretty sure Barclayman will bring over to try and counter my flanking move there. We'll just have to see. Okay, meanwhile over here you'll see that Lando's cavalry's charged into those SPQR infantry, lost a couple of his cavalry. You can see JGP's green Brutii infantry there, but sadly here it looks like poor old JGP is going to get hit by another suicide chariot here of Barclayman's. Look, and bang, as it charges in there. As I say, every time Barclayman charges in his suicide chariot, he's hoping and praying that it's going to run amok. Well, this chariot unit didn't. Can you see the banners just glowing white there? So it's going to rout as any other unit. But make no mistake, it still caused poor old JGP some casualties there, but only a few casualties. You can see it didn't cause that many there. And so that was good news because it didn't run amok. So as I say, every time one of those suicide chariots hits enemy troops, Barclayman's praying then that it's going to run amok like this unit has here, look. Okay, but this unit here could run into his own allies' troops. And as I say, if your chariots run into allies' troops and you start killing allies' men, then suddenly you become a little bit unpopular with your allies, which you probably would expect there. But here, as I say, I'm going to try and come in on the flank of those engaged Pontus pikemen there. As I say, you can see that, but I know that that rear line of Pontus pikes are going to come over to try and counter me, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the bulk of my Spartans into the flank of those engaged Pontus pikemen there. Okay, so you can see them moving around the flank. As I say, I don't want to take those Pontus pikemen on head on, but I certainly will take them on from the flank. Okay, now over here, oh dear, poor Barclayman's run amok chariot there is killing poor Uther's infantry there. Remember, Uther is on Barclayman's side, and this run amok chariot is certainly smashing down, cutting down Uther's infantry there. So as I say, it really is a double-edged sword bringing chariots, and this chariot suicide tactic, it still is a double-edged sword there, because you can't control them once they run amok. Now over here you'll see that Luke is now attacking Mantu's infantry there. You can see he's got the numbers there, and over here you'll see that Luke is attacking Mantu's cavalry. Now remember, both their cavalry was fully upgraded, but if I remember correctly, I believe that Mantu has thrown his cavalry into other actions on the battlefield, and his cavalry has been weakened and battle depleted there. So you can see Mantu bring some of his infantry over to help his cavalry. Wouldn't surprise me if Luke backed his cavalry off, and there you go. Luke doesn't want to get involved in fighting enemy infantry with his cavalry there. But as I say, over here you'll see that rear line of Pontus pikemen that we saw earlier have come over to try and counter my flank attack on the engaged Pontus pikemen there. But you'll see that I'm still moving in with my pikemen there, but I will try and counter that rear line of Pontus pikemen that have come across there. That one unit that got stuck, look, that was a 79-man unit. It's down to 12 men now, so that's a bit of a shame there. And over here, as I say, you can see JGP's Green Brutia army, and you can see a couple of those run amok chariots there, one of them charging into their own allies' troops there, chopping them down, killing them there, look. Just charging in there, still going to charge into other units there. I should imagine there'll be some polite words said to Barclayman there from his allies when they see his chariots chopping down their men. But as I say there, so JGP's got some solid infantry there that he can hold, and I notice he's got his cavalry there as well. But here, as I say, you can see me moving my Spartans into the flank of those engaged Pontus pikemen. Okay, see slowly moving in there. But I've sent some units as well to counter that rear line of Pontus pikemen that I knew would come in to try and counter me there. Okay, so I'm going to try and hold them up there while I move the bulk of my Spartans into those engaged Pontus pikemen. Okay, now I'm aware that Barclayman's put a unit on my flank there. Okay, I'm aware of that, and he's going to move in to try and attack the flank and rear of my engaged Spartans there. The bulk of my Spartans, as I say, are moving in towards those Pontus pikemen on the flank. There, you can see them moving in. They're pushing in all the time, tapping on each unit, attack, attack, attack. Right now that Pontus pike unit is coming in on my flank, can you see that unit there? I'm now going to up spears. I don't want to fight two ways there against the long pikes of Pontus coming in on my flank, plus while I'm engaging the ones at the front as well with my short spears against those long pikes. So what I think the best tactic for those 4 Spartan units is to up spears and run them over to the bulk of where the rest of my troops are there. I think that'd be the best way. I don't want to play the Pontus general's game of trying to fight Pontus long pikes head on while I get attacked from the rear there. So as I say, can you see I've up spears now? I'm running my troops over to the bulk of my Spartans now, and I'm going to join them up there. as that pike unit moves in on me there. So here you can see that Lando's got his red Julio troops integrated with my troops. He's got his general unit there as well, giving general morale bonus. Okay, so that's good news there. So we've got, as I say, Lando's red Julio infantry and my Spartans there fighting all this Roman infantry and Pontus pikemen. Okay, so the enemy have integrated their Roman infantry with their Pontus pikemen allies there. And you can see here, Uther bringing more infantry into the fray here against my Spartans. You can see enemy getting behind here. Xarith has brought a unit in behind my Spartans there. There's more units there. Xarith bringing cavalry and more infantry to get in behind my engaged Spartans there. Okay, so just have to watch out for that. But as I say, I've got Lando, some of Lando's very battle damaged Julio units there. Here you'll see JGP moving in as well. I'm hoping to maybe get into the rear of those engaged troops. And over here, as I say, you can see Luke is facing Mantu's infantry and enemy cavalry there. Okay, you can see Mantu's infantry there. Okay, so that's what Luke's doing over on that right flank. But as I say, my Spartans now are engaging those long pikes of Pontus there, along with Lando's infantry. But as I say, I've brought those units over. I didn't want to get sandwiched between those Pontus pikemen on that other flank, so I'm now going to integrate those spearmen in with my Spartans there as we move forward into the enemy ranks there. As I say, Lando's, as you can see, red Julii infantry is integrated with my Spartans there, so we're fighting together. And you can see JGP's green Brutii infantry coming over as well. Nice bit of support there by JGP. Nice cavalry hit there by Lando. But just look at all these enemy troops getting in behind my Spartans there. Can you see? I think the real threat now is not, see, if you notice I'm moving forward with my Spartans, but if you look in front of my Spartans, that's not where the real threat is. The real threat is coming in behind. So I need to change trajectory and stop moving forward and move back there. Here's a nice cavalry hit from JGP, look, and bang, as he smashes in there. Probably looking to go for that Scipii general there. There's his cavalry smashed in there, but he's been counter-attacked by SBQ or cavalry. If you noticed here, oh, that's good news. Oh, no, that's bad news. Just taking out our Julii general ally there. If you notice now, I've turned trajectory. I was moving forward. I've now turned back now to face a threat that was coming in from behind me of all those enemy Scipii and SBQR troops that were coming in behind. There you can see a couple of my infantry units there have just been routed. 3 men. They fought down to 3 men in each unit there before they actually routed. But that's bad news to see units routing there with all those enemy troops closing in on me here. As I say, remember JGP is the green Roman infantry and he's doing well, but he's up against SBQR and Scipii infantry there. Notice here Uther keeping his Eagle unit out of the fray, but it's giving morale boost to his troops and his allies' troops there. Notice that you can see Mantu's infantry and archers there. Over here you can see Luke attacking some of Mantu's units there with his cavalry and infantry. But as you can see, Lando is still away from his allies there, where we're trying to do the best we can here against big numbers of enemy troops. There's a battle damaged cavalry unit just smashed into the back of the enemy infantry there. He's going to pull it back again, look, ready to, he'll lock and load it and charge it in again to get a full cavalry charge bonus there. Oh my gosh, that's bad news for us. I think Uther's just charged his Scipii cavalry in and just routed all of JGP's cavalry there. Can you see all of JGP's cavalry has just been counter-attacked by Uther's Scipii cavalry, and so JGP now has lost all his cavalry. He's got a few infantry units left still fighting there, but just look at the numbers. Remember, the SBQR, the purple SBQR and the blue Scipii troops are the enemy there. So poor old JGP is getting a bit of a hammering over on that flank there. And there you can see my Spartans now still fighting there. I'm still up against those long pikes of Pontus there. You can still see at least 4 or 5 units of Pontus pikemen there, plus all that enemy Scipii and SBQR Roman infantry closing in as well. Right, can you see there that Uther's got his cavalry in behind us now? Now, whether he'll charge his cavalry into the rear of my Spartans or whether he'll charge them into our Julii ally. We'll just have to wait and see. There you are, and bang, as he charged and decided to go for my ally there. Oh dear, that's a shame, taking out the several of poor old Julii allies there. Lando's infantry there just got taken out, a couple of units there, and by that massive cavalry charge by Uther. Things not looking that good there. And over here you can see that JGP's general's been taken out as well, so he lost a general morale bonus there. Luke has charged some of his cavalry in trying to help JGP there, but as I say, Luke's infantry and cavalry are still a long way away from his allies there, and there's a lot of enemy troops there attacking his allies there. And you can see Uther's cavalry at the back here. Can you see it's locked and loaded? Now whether he's going to smash into the back of my engaged Spartans there, that might be a target he may well look at. There, if he charges straight in there, it charges straight into the back of my engaged Spartans there. You can see enemy troops closing in on my Spartans as well from different angles there. So it'll be interesting to see if that's what Uther's going to do. Right, you can see Uther charging forward, but I'm just wondering here, he doesn't look like he's going to charge. There, he's stopped. There, did you see? It didn't look like he was fully committed to that cavalry charge. I think I might have changed one of my Spartans there to face that cavalry threat coming in, and he might have thought twice about charging in there. But you can see my Spartans here now are being attacked from different angles there, from different troops. There's another one of my Spartan units has just been routed there. You can see there, remember that the enemy purple and Scipii troops, they're starting to surround my Spartans there. Can you see that? I think all of Lando's infantry has been taken out. He's got one rallied unit he's brought in there, but most of Lando's red Julii troops have now been taken out. And if you notice there, my Spartans are almost surrounded by enemy troops there, all pushing in from different angles. So I'm going to have to, I'm facing the threat. I'm turning Spartans to face the threat from those different angles as they come in. Luckily we just routed another unit there, but you can still see the long pikes of Pontus coming in on my troops, although we have routed a lot of Pontus pikemen there. So that's good news for us, but you've got a lot of enemy infantry charging. JGP's got an infantry unit fighting there, look, but he's up against a lot of enemy troops. And as I say, you can see enemy troops pushing in there. But over there you can see Luke is fighting there against enemy troops there. I think he's having a go at Uther and Mantu over there. I think Xarith has got some troops in over there as well. So but as I say here, JGP I think has lost most of his troops, and I think Lando's lost most of his troops as well. As I say, my Spartans still moving forward there, still trying to... Oh, that's good news, we just routed the enemy Scipii general. That's really good news. I'd like to rout the Pontus general as well if I could. You can see several enemy units starting to rout now. Now that's really good news for us. But as I say, just look at the numbers there. The blue enemy Scipii troops and the purple enemy SPQR troops are still closing in on my troops. Plus you've got a couple of Pontus pikemen still there as well, closing in. If you notice here, as I said before, I've noticed this with Uther, he's keeping his Eagle unit out of the fray, but keeping the Eagle unit close enough to his allies' troops and his own troops to give that extra morale boost. So newer players for Rome Total War, that's a good move there. Keep the morale boosting units out of the fray for as long as you can. Right, now this could be a worry. Can you see that Uther's bringing his battle damaged cavalry over to this position here? And I think with a view to smash into my Spartans. This time I think he will do it. You'll probably see that my Spartans are greatly battle depleted, very worn. They're probably winded there, and if he smashes in with his well upgraded cavalry, he's got a good chance of starting a chain mass rout of my Spartans there. Okay, I notice he's bringing infantry units over as well. You can see here Luke's bringing some of his cavalry units, and oh, that's good news. We just killed the Pontus, and right there goes that Scipii cavalry, look, and bang of Uther's smashed into my Spartans there. But remember that Uther's cavalry was very, very battle damaged there, but he still managed to rout two of my Spartan units there. Can you see two of my units have routed there? From that cavalry hit, they fought down to 5 men in that unit and 7 men in that unit. So they fought down quite well. They've been fighting for a long time. Very battle depleted units there. But you can still see enemy troops smashed in there. But we managed to take out most of Uther's cavalry there. So that's good news. Here's Luke's cavalry. Look, charging in. Hopefully he's going to charge in again. Look, he's going to charge into that Eagle unit of Uther's, look, and bang, as he charges in there. As we know, the Eagle units aren't as good as the urban cohort units there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move my Spartans over to try and take out that Eagle unit if I can. But as you know, my units are extremely battle damaged there. Look, you can see, just look at the numbers there. I've only got 4 units left as well now. Now over here, can you see that Luke has got 6 infantry units there? Just seems to be sat there doing nothing. Do you think that he should bring those units over to help me while I'm still fighting there against enemy troops? Do you think that would be a good move if he brought those 6 infantry units over? My guys are still fighting. He's got his cavalry involved, look. His cavalry are charging in there. And things like that is the unit of JGPs. But do you think that he should bring those 6 units over to maybe help my Spartans fight what's left of the enemy troops? Do you think that's something that you would do? And you might be wondering, well, why is he just sat there and not bringing his units over? Well, for Luke, what he's looking at here is the fitness of his troops. Can you see tired? Can you see that unit is tired? Tired. If you look again, can you see tired? If you look over here, you'll see very tired. Can you see that? Very tired, and tired. Now remember that the battle proficiency of your troops, the way they actually fight the battle, drops off the edge of a cliff from tired onwards. So tired, very tired and exhausted, their battle proficiency and their morale drops off the side of a cliff. So that's why he's not engaging, I think, with his troops there, is because he's worried that they're tired or very tired there, and their battle performance, their battle proficiency is very low. That's why I think he's not sending his infantry over to help. Okay, but here's a worrying thing. Here is rather a large unit at this stage of the battle, a 56-man unit there that Mantu's bringing in to charge into my battle depleted Spartan units there. But if you were Luke, would you charge those infantry units in to help, or would you just leave them there to rest to get to a better fitness stage before you put them in? I guess it's just a call that different generals would make, I suppose. We'll just have to see. But as I say, my Spartans still putting into the fray, still fighting there. You can see here that Luke's cavalry charging in there. He's using his cavalry really well, even though they're tired. He's using them well, but his infantry he's just keeping at the back there. So just leaving them there to try and get into a better fitness state. But I'm still moving my Spartans forward. What I want to try and do, I know my Spartan army is going to break, but I'm going to still bring them in, still keep fighting there, weaken the enemy troops. There where you can see my Cretan archers now have shot all their arrows, so they've drawn their swords. Okay, so what I'm going to do with them, I'm going to take the skirmish mode off, and I'm going to charge them in as well. So I'm committing all my troops here to try and weaken the enemy as much as I can here, to maybe help Luke towards the end of the battle there, with him keeping his 6 infantry back there resting. Okay, so as I say, you can see my archers charging in there. I've got my Spartans fighting as well. Oh my gosh, just look at that. You can see those archers coming in. Obviously they're only light infantry. Their defense is pretty poor as well, so they're not great you know, hand-to-hand fighting troops there. But when you're desperate, you just charge them in. Look at this big unit of SPQR infantry coming in behind my Spartans there. Now it wouldn't surprise me if my Spartans routed at this stage of the battle. Okay, I'm just thinking that's probably what's going to happen. Now over here you'll see that Luke's charges cavalry into those SPQR units, and even though his units are tired now, he's going to charge them into these SPQR infantry units there. Okay, so he's decided he's going to attack now. But as I say, I think my Spartans have been fighting all the way through the battle. They're getting attacked by different units here. These archers are about to crack, I think, because they're only light infantry. And it wouldn't surprise me if my entire army, there you go, so that's my entire Greek city's army has now been routed. Okay, they've been fighting for most of the battle there. I think they held for a very long time, but that's it, they have now been routed. Okay, so now Luke's rested troops, maybe he may well have to pull his troops back, which he's done now. Look, you can see that, pulling his troops back. His troops are still, some of his troops are still very tired or tired there, but he's going to have to commit them there, because I'm guessing that the enemy troops here are starting to rally. Let's see, they're putting all their troops together. there. You can see that Luke's got some battle damage cavalry. Let's pause again for a second there. So you can see here the enemy here. You can see there's still an eagle. There's 2 eagle units. Now remember, if you put an urban cohort unit up against an eagle unit, the urban cohort unit will win. Okay, so the two units that Uther's got left are eagle units. Okay, they're morale boosting units, but you put them up against urban cohorts and they will lose. Also here you can see Luke's got some very battle damaged cavalry, but they are fully upgraded. Okay, so that could well make a difference there. I'm just looking at all the dead here that my Spartans, in combination with Lando and JGP there, we really weakened the enemy troops here for Luke there. As I say, Luke kept his infantry back there. He's trying to let their fitness get to as good as it can get before he commits them into battle. That's why he didn't bring his infantry over to help my Spartans there. He was just letting them rest to get their fitness level back up. Okay, so as I say, a lot of you watching this might have thought that's not very good teamwork, him, you know, not coming over to help us when we needed it, but he was just letting his troops rest there to get their fitness level back. Okay, but as I say, here you can see in amongst the enemy troops there are archer units as well, so it's you know, when you look at their troops, it's not all infantry. There are some archer units in there, which of course are light infantry there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. Over here you'll see JGP's got some archers. I think Luke's got some archers over here as well. There you are, you got JGP's and Luke's archers there. They may well be brought into the fray with their little swords. Remember, archers are just light infantry. Once you get into hand-to-hand fighting, they're not really fantastic fighters, but they can add a little bit of weight to the battle. Now it'll be interesting to see whether Luke is going to attack or the enemy team are going to attack at this stage of the battle there. As I say, I think Luke is just wants to keep his troops there. Can you see they're just winded now? He's rested them now, so there's a few, I think there's one unit that's tired, but the majority of his units are winded, which are okay to fight. You're okay to fight with fresh, warmed up, or winded. They're still okay to fight, but it's when you get into the tired, very tired and exhausted bracket that you don't want to fight if you can help it. Okay, so as I say, here you can see the enemy troops cautiously moving towards Luke's infantry there. You can see the SPQR general is putting some of his units out there to try and counter the cavalry of Luke's. Okay, as I say, remember those cavalry are fully upgraded. Now here you can see that Uther's eagle units have been attacked by urban cohorts of Luke's. And if you notice here, Uther's moving his eagle units back because what he wants to do is just give morale bonus to his allies there. You can see an infantry unit of Luke's charged in there. Now you can see the cavalry charging in there and bang into that archer unit. That archer unit's not going to hold very long though. That's just routed there. And now Luke can turn his cavalry into the infantry of SPQR. You can see Uther's brought that eagle unit over to try and give morale boost to his allies' troops there. But you can see there that a lot of the enemy troops are starting to rout now. And those cavalry of Luke's going to get in behind the engaged enemy troops and charge them in. You'll see he's brought one of his infantry units around the flank as well. Get ready for this cavalry hit. Going to go through Uther's eagle unit into the back of the SPQR infantry and bang as they charge in there. And you can see a lot of the enemy troops. That one SPQR unit just glowed, got a battlefield promotion before it routed, but there you are, and the enemy's just admitted defeat there. The SPQR general's just admitted defeat. You can see Uther's eagle units there being inundated by Luke's infantry there, so those eagle units won't last that long. Although they're kind of so close to each other, they're giving each other a morale bonus there, which might keep them fighting a little bit longer. But there you are, you can see now that just one eagle unit left in the enemy team, and then once that unit's routed, that will be, I think, the end of the battle there. There you go. So it looks like our team has just about managed to go on to win the battle there. I say it's quite a spread out battle, but there are places where there's some intense fights. Now over here, this is where that JGP's Brutii cavalry got taken out by those suicide chariots of Barclayman's there. You see the way that the cavalry just taken out there. You can see the carcasses of the suicide chariots there. Over here, and that's where his infantry were hit by that one chariot unit that didn't run amok. But look at the damage that it did. And then another unit then ran amok as well, that ran into his infantry as well. But as I say, this is a tactic that Barclayman has been doing. Another suicide chariot attack there on cavalry. Look, as we move over closer to the main part of the battle here, you'll see you know, you can see the piles of dead bodies here, so you can see the intensity of the fighting. A lot of Julii infantry dead there, possibly suicide and chariots did that. Over here that you can see where my Spartans were fighting there, a lot of dead enemy troops there. I think actually in the end we managed to take out all the Pontus pikemen there, so that was quite good. One thing we wanted to do is just having a look to see what units are left here. I think as you can see, the vast majority of units that are left are Luke's, but I think if I remember, yeah, JGP's got one archer unit left. He's got 70 men in that unit. That's pretty good, but that's the only unit he's got left. The rest of the Green Brutii army is Luke's. And then you'll see that Lando has got one unit left with 5 men in out of his entire army. So JGP and Luke has got one unit left out of their entire armies there. So as you can see, most of Luke's armies there is still there, as you can see. And over here, all my Spartans were routed. My entire Greek city's army was all taken out. I thought they fought for a long time and they did well there, weakening the enemy troops, allowing Luke to get, I would think, some good kills there. As I say, I think JGP, Lando and myself weakened the enemy troops so much that, as I say, Luke just kind of mopped up what was left, really, of the enemy troops there. My guess is he's going to get some good kills. There's Luke's general, can you see there? There's Luke's general, made sure he kept that safe for that morale bonus that the general gives. Always look after your general. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played really well, and as you can see, it was a close victory there, and it really was close, I thought. And the highest kills in the game, who do you think they're going to? Going to Luke, 1,747 kills. So well done to Luke, got some good kills there with his Brutii army. Well done to Uther, he got over 1,000 kills there, so well done to Uther there with his Scipio army, he did really well. Well done to Mantu, he's got less than 1,000 kills, so he'll be a little bit disappointed, but I thought he still played well there with his custom army. Well done to Barclayman there, that got some really good kills, 3rd highest kills in the game for Barclayman there. And well done to Xarith, got over 1,000 kills as well, so really well played, guys, great game. My kills, 1,570. I'm quite pleased with that. And if you look at the number of my army, can you see my army is the smallest army on the battlefield there? So to get 1,570 kills with the smallest army on the battlefield, I'm quite pleased with that. Well done to JGP. He was supporting and helping all over the battlefield. Well done to him. As I say, well done to Luke, highest kills in the game. And well done to Lando, just got over 1,000 kills. And now, bearing in mind he used to be smashed and crashed, I think he did really well there. I don't think there was a faction advantage by any team there, but I just wanted to show you this battle because of Barclayman's suicide chariot tactics. How many of you watching this have ever seen suicide chariot tactics before? Very interesting, isn't it? And he's starting to refine the tactics, the way he uses his suicide chariots now. Starting to refine it a little bit, so he's becoming quite lethal with those. Okay, Spartan Commanders, and I hope you enjoyed the battle, and bye for now.